The Zone is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year.
It's over! There's no way back from this, surely!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
That is what sport means. That is what the EuroLeague trophy means.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
Everything is difficult in this life, so still you need to be on it.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win!
Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
The competition is back, and the UEFA Women's Champions League looks set to be bigger and better than ever before.
It's their time, a night to remember.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of Ariel and Ade right here on DAZN Boxing, on the DAZN Boxing YouTube channel, of course the app, as well DAZN, the home, the global home of all things boxing. A massive schedule about to kick off here in the year 2025. We are rolling. Last week we had our first annual award show, and I do have to say, Ade and I were kind of saying at the beginning of last week's show that it was the most prestigious award show in all of boxing. Certainly prestigious, although I will say that the Ring Awards kind of upped things a little bit later in the week on Saturday. Ade, of course, was there, and so let us go to the voice of all things boxing for DAZN, if you ask me, the great Ariel Oladipo, who was there wearing, I think, a tuxedo for like the fifth time in the last like 30 days or so, right? I mean, do you just sleep in a tux now?
Yeah, it was a different one. It was a different one. Okay. I made sure it was clear that it was a different one. It was a double-breasted.
It was nice.
A tuxedo. It was nice. It was okay. It was nice. By the way, you are correct as well. I mean, our award show was the best award show up until last week Saturday, yes, where it clearly wasn't, because that was the greatest thing I've ever been to in my life. It was fantastic. We definitely got destroyed, but next year we go bigger. We go bigger and better, and let's see what we can come up with.
Yes, 100%. A good first offering. The Ring Awards were just unbelievable. What a scene it was, and what a scene it was just seconds ago at the world famous City Ground. I do want to extend my commiserations to you and all the Liverpool supporters out there. Let's be honest, you didn't want to draw. You did not want to draw at the City Ground. This is a loss. This is a moral victory for us. We have proven that we belong. We have proven that we arrived. We have proven that we are a formidable force at the top of the table. We're headed to Europe. The question is it Europa League or Champions League? It doesn't matter. You did not want this. You didn't expect it. Please share your sorrows, share your disappointment, share everything you want to say about Matt Sells, who was the man of the match and completely stole the show.
How good was he?
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Dude, how good was he?
Yeah.
I mean, wow, incredible. But you're right. Look, I mean, we wanted more than a point. I mean, this is still Nottingham Forest. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, wow. You're doing that.
You're a team flying high right now. But I mean, we were talking about relegation potentially at the start of the season. All of a sudden, I mean, you guys are playing crazy. It's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on. But I will say this. A point away from home against a team that were equal second, joint second. It's not the worst point in the world. We're 7 points clear at the top of the table. We're now past the halfway stage. I'm happy. 7. Well, we're not counting you. I'm thinking 7.
What, of Arsenal? Well, we don't get the respect?
No. I ain't worried about you guys. You ain't win it. I'm just thinking, how far away are we from our proper challengers, which is Arsenal? 7.
Still. You and Slot, still can't give us any respect. It's unbelievable.
You're getting your respect. But well done. Honestly, congratulations on a point against the mighty Reds. Well done.
No, it was a great battle. Good heavyweight tilt, if you will. The City Ground was on fire. The Empire State Building is on fire as well. Look at that thing. It is lighting up. Look at that. Unbelievable. I'm just happy that we're seeing some kind of sunlight at the 5 o'clock hour here in New York City, of course, 10 p.m. over in London. And so, yes, I am happy. We can all be friends. We can shake hands. Great match by our two teams. Lifelong supporter to lifelong supporter. Well done. Well done. I am delighted. And I know there are several members of the DAZN team.
There's about 1,000. There's 1,000 Everton fans right now that are watching this right now that are going to say something on the live chat. They're going to say, well, 1 second, what about your little stint as an Everton fan, considering that you are a so-called lifelong Forest fan? Yeah?
I'm drinking their tears right here. I'm drinking their tears right here. Those Everton. They wish they had me on their side. Look at them. In shambles. Look what I brought into the tricky trees. Look at the success. Look at all the great moments that we've had since I joined the club 3 years ago. Things happen, people change, people move on, people evolve, all right? Let me just drink it for a second. Just a quick sip.
Drink it. Now drink it. Drink their tears. As a Liverpool fan, I don't mind what you're doing right now. This is good. This is good. Continue to drink it. By the way, yes. I was watching your Benavides Morale face-off.
What do you think?
God, that caught fire quickly.
Yes. All thanks
just like that. Boom.
All thanks to David Benavides, really. We went, as the great Canadian lyricist Aubrey Graham once said, we went from 0 to 100 real quick. He was fantastic. That's coming up on February 1st. Tremendous heat between the two of them. I can't wait for that. And that speaks to what I have been saying time and again, especially since the start of 2025. Right now, the drama, the storylines, the fights to come, the fights being rumored, the fights that are being made in the sport of boxing is at an all-time high. I mean, comparing it to my other love of mixed martial arts, the level of drama in boxing right now and the level of drama in MMA and the things to talk about, the things to kind of sink your teeth into, so much greater in the world of boxing. And so let us get into it. I have to be honest, Ade, at the start of today's show, I was thinking, okay, we'll talk about the Ring Awards and some of the news and notes from there. Of course, there's been a press conference on Monday in London, the big one for the 22nd of February, all the stuff there. Okay, maybe we'll talk, Ben Eubank. Here comes Tyson Fury screwing up everyone's rundown, screwing up everyone's plans. Monday morning, he comes out after a weekend full of excitement and positivity and hope that we're finally going to get Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua finally in the year 2025. In case you missed it, this is what Tyson Fury dropped.
Hi everybody, I'm going to make this short and sweet. I'd like to announce my retirement from boxing. It's been a blast. I've loved every single minute of it, and I'm going to end with this. Dick Turpin wore a mask. God bless everybody. See you on the other side. Get up!
All right. So we'll get to Dick Turpin in a moment, but I have to say, all right, here we are 35 hours later after it was dropped. How do you feel about it? Everyone's had a say. Everyone's had, okay, cap, no cap, their feelings towards it. What are you saying? Was that a legit retirement? Is he never fighting again? Or is it part of the negotiation?
Cap. It's cap, isn't it? It's cap. I mean, it's funny. There's these memes going around of Tyson Fury retiring like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
And I forgot about all those retirements. I completely forgot about all of those. And all of a sudden, they've resurfaced. So, look, I think it's cap. I think there's far too much money on the table. Every time I've sat down and spoke to Tyson Fury about retiring, why continue? He says, look, that's all he knows how to do. He loves the sport of boxing. He loves the money as well. Let's not pretend he loves the money, and so he should. He's a prize fighter. And the biggest prize, potentially in terms of check anyway, is out there. It's AJ. It wasn't Usyk. It wasn't Wilder. The biggest paycheck he will get from the sport of boxing is fighting a guy called Anthony Joshua in front of, I dare say, 100,000 people, Wembley Stadium. That's out there. I just think it's cap. I know you said we'll leave the Dick Turpin thing out. There's something there.
Okay, so tell us, what does he mean by that, in your opinion? And for those that may not know, and by the way, Hadi, how about this? We took a look at the Dick Turpin Google search results since yesterday and prior to yesterday, because you can imagine there were probably a lot of Americans or non-Brits who went to Google and were like, who the hell is Dick Turpin, and what the hell does he have to do with this announcement or Tyson Fury or boxing, etc.? Here are the trends for the entire week. Look at that.
Oh my.
And that's yesterday, of course. That spike up. And so who the hell is Dick Turpin, and what do you think Tyson is trying to say by referencing him?
Well, look, Dick Turpin was a highway robber. That's what he used to do, right? In years before my time, years before your time, years before your father's time and your father's father's time, he was famous for highway robbery. Now, obviously, I guess Tyson Fury is trying to reference that somehow someone might have robbed him, might have stolen some money from him, might have promised him something and didn't deliver. I don't know. Everyone's trying to understand what he means. Tyson Fury can sometimes go on riddles that make no sense. But we are trying to find out what it is. I asked Frank Warren, I said, Frank, what does he mean? Frank didn't know. I think others have asked questions to other people around Tyson Fury's camp. They don't know. But there's clearly something in it there. There's something in that part of it. I don't take the first 20 seconds to mean anything because, as I said, Tyson Fury has retired so many times before. It's that last part where I'm like, what does he mean by that? Who is he pointing the finger at? What's he referencing? I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I did.
Okay, so my two theories are this. A, he still feels like he was robbed against Usyk the second time and maybe even still the first time. So he feels like he was robbed, right? And at least Dick Turpin wore a mask when he robbed people as opposed to the judges. Or he's saying the offer isn't good enough and I'm being robbed, right? I feel like it's been whittled down to those two theories, right? Is there another one out there?
I don't know. Remember, this is boxing. This is the wild, wild west. So it could be a number of different theories. If it's the first one, Tyson Fury is a boxing man. Just go and watch the fights. Alexander Usyk won that fight. Yes, they were both close fights, but I think the majority of people say Alexander Usyk won. So I'm not having it's the first one. The second one, I don't know. What could the offer be? I mean, how could you be upset with any offer that comes through? We're led to believe that Turkey pays him a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I'll be very surprised if all of a sudden a lot of money's come a little money for what is, again, I think one of the biggest fights that can be made, if not the biggest fight in boxing. So I don't know, man. Conspiracy theorists are running wild, Ariel. A lot of people are saying it's different things, but I guess only one man knows, and that's Tyson Fury, and he's not letting up any other clues.
Yeah, and maybe AJ knows to a degree as well. And so what I'm wondering is, like, how did we get to this point from Saturday? There I am consuming all the content from afar. Wow, look at everyone in their tuxes. Look at everyone's there. AJ is there. The AirPod is there. He's wearing a tux too. He's got the cane. Freaking Teofimo Lopez is dressed as like a Great Gatsby character. You got everyone under the sun. Everyone under the sun. And AJ's talking to you up there. And I've never heard him sound so hopeful and so positive regarding this fight that we've all been dreaming of. We've all been talking about it. How do we get from that point, as you're looking at some of the sights from this unbelievable event that they put on Saturday evening in London? How did we get from that moment there, this interview here where AJ seems super confident, to Monday? What's the difference? What changed?
Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury wants to be in the limelight. He wants to be the man of the moment, and he stole the limelight. That's what he did. I mean, he stole the limelight from Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. He stole the limelight from what was an incredible ring award ceremony, which would have been the first talking point of today's show. He now is the main talking point. All of a sudden, this is the man that lost his last fight, that's announced his retirement. He is now the headline act again. And that's exactly where he's always wants to be. Tyson Fury is the best showman in boxing. And all of a sudden, the showman has come out to show and play again. So I think that's what he's done. He just said, you know what? No one's talking about me. They will now. Let me just press send, and boom, he stole everything.
Any idea, any inclination as to why he wasn't there on Saturday? I think everyone assumed he would be there, right? I think even AJ said, I'm looking for this guy. Do you know why he wasn't there?
No. But again, in his absence, we all asked, where is Tyson Fury? So it's working. Whatever he's doing right now, whether people think it's wrong or right, it's working because the headlines are all about Tyson Fury. Even come Saturday, I was like, it's easier for me to say who's not here than who is here. And the first person I said was, where is Tyson Fury? And it kind of went round the room. Where's Fury? Where's Fury? He knows what he's doing. He's been in this business a long, long time. He's made a lot of money. He's been very successful. And he's planted these type of seeds before. I think Tyson Fury is starting to play a game. It's a good game because it's a game we're all invested in.
100%. And I saw some people say, like, look, this is getting tiresome. He's done it now, I think, officially 4 times. He's retired 4 times. He took one long layoff, and it kind of falls on deaf ears, and no one believes him. But here's the thing. It's not going to work against him. If, in fact, they figure this out, and if, in fact, they make this fight and they book it for, let's say, Wembley or Tottenham, everyone agrees it's either one of those venues, we'll all watch it. We'll all be foaming at the mouth. Every media member will want to be there. Every broadcaster will want to broadcast it. Every fight fan, certainly overseas, will want to watch it. This is all part of the journey to get there. And perhaps, Ade, we are now reminded of what boxing was like 2 years ago and beyond, right? Prior to that, when this was the norm. Like, we've gotten a little bit spoiled over the past year and a half because the big fights are being made. Fury Usyk 2, yeah, let's make it. Better be a Bivol 2, yeah, easy. Like, there's been no drama in terms of, yeah, I know there's the Eubank Ben stuff and all that stuff, but for the most part, the big fights are being made, and we forget that this was kind of the norm 2023 and prior.
My fear for what Tyson Fury's doing, or look, what I think he's trying to do, which is ultimately get a bit more money, right? Like, come on, Tyson, please fight. Here's another 10 million. The problem is the person he's fighting is also a superstar, equal billing superstar, right? This is a 50-50 fight in terms of what they both bring to the table. So if you're team AJ and you hear that Tyson Fury's got another 15-20, you're going to want another 15-20. That's just how this is going to play out. There's going to be a number which Turkey just won't go to. There has to be a number. I know everyone says he has an infinite resources, but there has to be an infinite amount of resources, but there has to be a number where even he says, you know what, this is getting silly, we're not going there. So I don't know if it's a case of Tyson Fury just writes a number down and, okay, look, I'll come out of retirement for that. Because if AJ gets whispers, and he'll know what that number is, he's going to say, well, 1 second, I'm Anthony Joshua. I sell out stadiums as well. I do incredible pay-per-view numbers as well, if not more than Tyson Fury. I want that number as well. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work. I feel like this is just annoying. We're so close. AJ clearly wants it. Everyone else wants it. It only worked for me if Fury lost. Fury did lose. I think it's just silly right now. Let's just make the fight. What is going on? What's happening? Nonsense.
A week ago, I said it's my wish for 2025. This is the fight that I want to see above all else because we've been talking about it for the longest. And I actually think, given where they're at in their careers right now, I actually think it's supremely interesting. Of course, if it was for Undisputed, that would be the best. But both guys coming off of losses, one coming off of back-to-back losses at the highest, point of the game. This is for, Undisputed. Yeah. Like he's not on some losing streak against a bunch of bums. But still, you don't want to go on a 3-fight losing streak. AJ doesn't want to lose 2 in a row after, a good stretch. And backs against the wall, kill or be killed, the face of UK boxing over the past 10 years versus the other face of UK boxing over the past 10 plus years. You don't need anything else. And so let me ask you, your read, and I know you and AJ are boys, you hang out in Nigeria, you hang out at galas and ceremonies and whatnot. Your read on his mood and I guess the way he was feeling about the fight in that chat that you guys had on DAZN.
I've never seen him so just, I want it. Just give me that fight. There's always been other options at AJ, and look, rightly so, right? There's always been other options, and AJ sometimes has taken those other options, and Tyson Fury's veered to his other options. Now I feel like AJ knows this is really the only true option. I mean, there are Bacoli, potentially Dubois rematch, but none of those are exciting. The fans aren't asking for any of those. The fans only want Tyson Fury. And AJ said it, didn't he? He said on that interview I did with him, I'm a fan. He says, I'm a fan, and I want to see Fury. That's what he said about himself. So it's the first time where I feel like he's now gunning for it. He mentioned everyone. He said, look, there's Spencer Brown, Frank Warren, Eddie, 258, Turkey. We can easily make this fight. So I think it's all systems go on his side, at least, for the Tyson Fury fight. He understands. He just wants to be in fun fights. He says, look, it's coming to an end. He says, I've got more. I've only got a few years left. All the best years are behind me. He only wants to do now what's exciting for him. And the most exciting thing for him is Tyson Fury. Win or lose. win or lose. I don't think he goes in there thinking, I have to win. He just wants to have a fight with Tyson Fury because everyone's been talking about it now for 10 years. 10 years. Like, what are we doing? And now, luckily for both, we're still in a situation, a bit like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd, where it still generates so much interest in money. And I don't know. Like I've always said, get in, get rich, get out. But when the get rich could be £100 million, stay for one more. Stay for one more, both of you, and let's do it.
All right. So as of right now, January 14th, evening time, 5:17 p.m. Eastern, 10:17 p.m. UK time. True or false? Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury fight in the year 2025.
True.
Okay. So this hasn't really changed your stance towards it, whether or not it happens.
No, not at all. I firmly believe it happens. Fury wants to fight AJ. AJ wants to fight Fury. They now, luckily, have someone that can bankroll it. And I'll be honest with you, though. I say that. This doesn't need Turkey's investment. Over here, still, look, it will get it, but it doesn't need it. Over here, this still does 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. It still sells at a stadium. The gate receipts will be incredible. It will be everywhere. The fact it's got Turkey's investment and involvement just makes it even more bigger. So look, I can't see how this fight doesn't happen. I really can't.
You know, Eddie Hearn was taking some subtle shots saying, look, I would retire too if I had to fight AJ. It was great stuff out of him, and kudos to the Matchroom team. They were getting all the content out. He did say, though, look, if he does in fact retire, God bless, great career. No one should force him to fight. But if that is in fact the case, we've got the winner of Dubois Parker. Do you think there's any chance that happens? Because I kind of feel like the winner of Dubois Parker should fight Usyk next and not AJ. There's a part of me that feels like this really leaves AJ in massive limbo because, yes, there are other fights out there, but no one on the level of Tyson Fury or the winner of that fight.
Yeah, it's a bit like we did a video about Usyk a few weeks ago, and I said, look, if Usyk wins, Usyk should retire, not because Usyk couldn't beat every other single heavyweight out there, but where are the sexy fights? What's out there for Usyk? And it's a bit like that with AJ. I said AJ should retire after the Dubois fight, just because I was like, well, what's the challenges? What more do you want? And the only want for me really is the Fury fight. I don't necessarily want to see AJ against Bacoli. I've seen AJ fight Dubois already. I've seen AJ fight Parker already. I've seen AJ fight Usyk twice. I don't need to see these fights again. The only one I want to see is Tyson Fury. There was a little part of me that was like, okay, you know what? Let's just do the Wilder fight. But I don't even really want to see that. It's only Fury. So if AJ doesn't get Fury, I think AJ retires as well. I think AJ should walk away. I think literally, if they both don't fight each other, then both should say, okay, you know what? Yeah, it is what it is. Let's move on.
I don't think he's going to retire. I still feel like he has it in him. What about Zhang?
Who? AJ?
AJ, yeah. What about Zhang? If Zhang gets by Caballel, you got a nice story there, dating back to 2012, right? They fought in the Olympics. Not a bad one.
Yeah, there's a story with all of them. Yeah. There's a story with all of them. I'm just thinking of what AJ would get up for. I can't see AJ getting up for Zhilei Zhang. The only one that AJ could potentially get up for, and it's a risky fight, is Martin Bacoli. You guys, I've been screaming for a fight in Africa, and Martin Bacoli's been saying it as well recently. They had a little face-off at the Ring Gala, which turned into smiles, which I didn't like. I was like, why are you smiling after us? Yeah. An intense face-off. But that's one. But again, it's not really, it's not Fury, it's not Wilder. It doesn't get the juices flowing like those two. So, look, he has options, but I don't know. You've been unified champ twice. You've made lots of money. I just don't see why you want to hang around for those type of fights.
Don't shoot me for saying this, but if this was the UFC, they would try to do Moses versus AJ. You know that, right?
Ooh.
That they would try to do it. The old guard. Before we go out to the back of the shed and kill him off for good, let's feed him to the 20-year-old hungry lion. They would do that, but it just doesn't happen, and it won't happen.
No, I don't want to see that.
But what a scene it would be. Golly, what a scene it would be.
Moses is a scary, scary fighter.
Oh, my God.
I don't want to see that one. No. Moses should just stay over there. AJ stay over there and fight the old guard. Moses fight the guys coming up, and that's it. I would love to see Moses versus Daniel Dubois if Dubois gets past Parker, but that's another video.
Yeah, down the line, we can get to that one. Okay, speaking of that amazing Ring Magazine Awards ceremony, they had their unbelievable event on Saturday, and really, it was a who's who. Off the top of my head, Other than Fury not being there, Tank Davis wasn't there, and he has made his feelings very well known on the awards ceremony. And Katie Taylor wasn't there, Amanda Serrano, but that was pretty much it. As far as like a who's who of boxing, they were all there. In case you missed any of it, this is the iconic photo. And shout out to Big Teofimo Lopez in the top right of the photo for
incredible.
Some people would say ruining it. I say making it all that much better in retrospect. Okay.
Maybe ruining it. Yeah.
Turkey might say he ruined it.
Yeah, Turkey's going to be upset. I can imagine Turkey like having a look at the photo and then seeing Teofimo doing that and calling everyone to come and take it again.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone come
get
back
the suit, get the tux, go to the dry cleaner and do this all over again. By the way, shout out to Turkey's photographer. Those photos, like the way they look like they're from like 1940 or 1950 or the film, the I don't know what it is.
The grade,
yes,
the color grade on it just looks sensational. He's done something like that before in Riyadh, but this just looked better. This just looked better. I think the one in Riyadh had like media journalists in there and stuff. I was like, oh, get them out.
Yeah.
Let's just have fighters, please. And this one's just fighters, and it is sensational. I feel like Eddie tried to steal it by wearing
white, yeah.
A tux. Yeah,
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
It's a bit cheeky. It's a bit cheeky.
Eddie in the
he knew. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. But no, honestly, it's a great photo, and everyone was there. Honestly, I had this really fantastic vantage point where I'm seeing all of them just come through, and I'm like turning, like, wow, you're here as well. Honestly, like it was the greatest lineup. Honestly, I don't know what that would have cost to put together. But I think to do the Ring Awards, I think you needed to start with a bang, and it certainly started with a bang.
Yeah, I believe that's a Maud photo, right? Shout out to Maud.
Is it?
I mean, she's his photographer. She's a tremendous follower.
Well, they're obvious. Yeah, it could be.
I mean, we'll give a shout out to Maud. She's tremendous.
Shout out to Maud. Fantastic photographer.
In case you missed it, here's a quick little highlight reel recap of what transpired. Was this Canary Wharf? Was that where it was?
No, this was in Greenwich. We're not too far from Canary Wharf, about 10 minutes from Canary Wharf.
All right, tomato. Take a look.
You're on a roll. You're very much around now. Monday, you've got a press conference where you meet the next guy. You meet Joseph Parker. Tell us what you're thinking about that fight.
I can't wait for it, man. I can't wait for it. Let's get it on. Let's see him in the flesh and start the whole ritual of fight week and everything going again. And yeah,
listen, we're in form, in shape, working hard. It's our time. Like Daniel Dubois says, let's go.
His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh has said he wants to see Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. What is your honest thoughts on that as an opportunity and a potential fight?
It's always is a chance there, right? We'll see, but always is a chance there, and we're here to make the best deals and always a chance.
Who do you want to fight next, Tio? What is next for you?
To be honest, I would love to fight, the likes that are in my aura. We would like to fight Devin Haney, absolutely. I mean, they're talking a big game, but let's see if they can back it up.
Last time you saw Chris Eubank Jr., he came face-to-face in the ring with Neymar. It all got quite interesting. Have you spotted him yet?
No, show a lot of respect tonight. This ain't about Eubank, this is about the Ring magazine. So as much as I would love to give him one or two, I will it's not the night for it. Time and place.
Conor Benn says he's on his best behaviour this evening. Are you on your best behaviour, Chris?
I'm always on my best behaviour, but if push comes to shove, then obviously I know what to do.
Is it personal now between you and Devin Haney?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, after the lawsuit and everything that's went down, to me it's a little personal. So hopefully we keep our distance.
100%. It's 100% personal. Because, at the end of the day, he cheated and he got caught. So, it's very personal. And I won't be happy until that fight is done, the rematch, because it's something there for me.
Ade, did Jamie Ward and Dev cut that highlight reel? I mean, was that like a clip reel for their resume?
It sounded like a little show reel for both of them, right? But I will say this: both of them did fantastically well. Yeah. Obviously, that was just a little snippet. I mean, they interviewed hundreds of fighters. Everyone that was there got an interview from both of those, and Ali Drew as well was on the red carpet doing her thing. So the whole team did incredibly well. But by the way, look at that. I mean, Ben Eubank, that could happen. I mean, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo. There's so many fights, and everyone was there. Can you imagine the business that was conducted over this weekend? Like between the managers, promoters, broadcasters, fighters. How many fights that would have been made? Insane.
Yeah, not AJ Fury, but can't have it all. Yeah. Let me ask you your personal highlight. What was something that stood out? Probably multiple things. Canelo just being there.
Like when they said Canelo's coming, when they said Canelo's coming, I was like, Canelo ain't coming.
Yeah.
Honestly, I saw the list and I was like, Canelo ain't coming. And then when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, Canelo's here. I was honestly stunned by him just being there because we haven't seen Canelo at anything Riyadh season. He wasn't at the sort of the ring relaunch, if you like, a couple of weeks ago in Saudi. So he's almost kept his distance from it. We haven't sort of any connection between Canelo and Saudi Arabia. So I didn't expect him to be there. And when he was there, I was like, okay, this is interesting. We might get Canelo Crawford. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh my God, we might get Canelo Crawford. And who knows, right? We could get it.
I mean, could he have dressed up just a little bit? I mean, he wasn't right. It was just like
Canelo.
He could do what he wants.
Yeah, it's Canelo.
Like,
it's Canelo. Even Chris Eubank Jr. had like a little zipper as well. I'm like, where's the bow ties? What's going on?
Did they tell you you had to wear that? Was it mandatory?
Well, no, they just said it's a black tie event. I could have wore a tie, but I thought, you know what? The bow ties look good on me. I've been getting a lot of compliments about the bow ties, so we're sticking with the bow ties. And I thought, let's mix it up with a double-breasted. So I just kept it nice and simple.
Does this mean old?
Does he AJ with a cane? Does he AJ?
AJ looked fantastic. I mean, he always looks fantastic. He's unbelievable. Still wearing the AirPod. Did you notice that? Still rocking the AirPod.
No.
Yes.
Did he really? I didn't see it.
He posted a photo of him like right before going, and he's rocking the AirPod, and it's still the old AirPod. It's not even the shorter like AirPod 2 or 3, whatever it's called. I will never get that. It does feel like it's almost like an earmuff, the AirPod. Sometimes I keep them in my ears when I'm walking my dog late at night. I'm not even listening to anything, just to keep the ear hole a little warm. And I understand it was pretty cold on that Saturday.
I like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think it could be almost just like trying to pretend to people that he's listening so he doesn't have to talk to people. Like, oh, sorry, I'm listening. I think it could be doing a bit of that now. Or it just could be a continuing motivational music playing throughout. I don't know. You asked him, didn't you?
I've asked him. Yeah, he at the time he was listening to something. I suggested Central C. We had a moment there. We were singing. He was telling me like, "Wow, you're really like my favorite media guy. Like you ask such great questions." I was like, "Listen, I don't want to take anyone's spot, so like let's not make this awkward." Some have
when we weren't talking, it's fine.
Some have suggested that there's someone out there feeding him lines. I say that's hogwash. I think that's complete.
No way.
That is
absolutely not. No. No chance. No
nonsense.
Chance. I mean, unless they've been feeding him lines since the very beginning.
No.
Then no. I mean, come on.
Okay, so that was like the Fury AJ stuff. I would say Saturday, Sunday, like wow, we're getting close was the big story, and then it all got torpedoed Monday morning. The other one that we've been talking about ad nauseum is Ben Eubank, and there appears to be a hell of a lot more positivity, optimism surrounding that one. In fact, ESPN reporting that it's this close. Mike Coppinger, who's a very reliable source, saying April 26th, it's this close. Now, there's been some back and forth. Of course, there has to be back and forth with these two. Here's a couple of tweets from earlier today. First from Chris Eubank, who says, just so you all know, these two rats, Conor Benn and Eddie Hearn, are now trying to enforce a rehydration restriction on me to make the fight. They talk a big game, but when it actually comes down to it, just a pair of cats? I don't know. Anyway, here's
No. You know what that is. You know what that means. Know what that means.
Here's the reply from Conor Benn. You soft, and I don't know, if this is a bad word or not, so I'm just going to steer clear.
No, you can say that one. You can say that
prick.
One.
Okay, there you go. You soft prick. I'm coming up 2 weights to fight you, and I'm the cat?
Cat.
10 pounds rehydration because I'm already fighting a middleweight, but you want to get in the ring as a light heavyweight? You are scared to death of Janabek and Shiraz, so I'm your only option. What is a
Satsuma?
What is that?
Satsuma.
What is that? Satsuma. Is that like what is that? Is that a dish?
Isn't Satsuma like? Is it a raisin, or is it? In my head, I'm thinking it's either a raisin. This is two.
Sounds like sushi.
A raisin, or like a tangerine. But I'm going for a raisin.
Tangerine.
Satsuma.
What kind of tangerine?
Can someone Google that? Can someone Google that, please? Can we just find out?
According to Mysterious Frank, it's a tangerine.
Tangerine.
What?
Tangerine. See, Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
He followed up with this tweet, by the way, in case you missed it. And this is something you and your team agreed to on Saturday, 2 days ago. So don't try and make out this new stop being this might be a bad one, and sign the contract.
Yeah.
So is this what are we? I mean, I was feeling good, and then I saw this, and now I'm like, are we screwed? Is this not happening? They're arguing again about the finer details, and this is a pretty big one, rehydration.
The rehydration is a big one. If you remember the first fight, obviously, Chris Eubank Jr. agreed to come down to 157 pounds, and there was, I guess, rehydration clauses in that one. I guess Chris feels like he's been aggrieved because of how the first fight played out or didn't play out. So he's like, I'll do what I want to do now. I do what I want to do. You want to fight me, you fight to all my rules and regulations. But I'm guessing there has to be some sort of, and I hate rehydration caps. I do. But if Conor is agreeing to come up 2 weight classes, there has to be some sort of level playing field here. Some will say, Ade, 1 second, if he wants to go up to 160, go up to 160. Don't go up to 160, then start trying to put X, Y, and Zs in. But I don't know. I do think this one will be ironed out. I do think this is a huge fight. I think it's the biggest money fight for both. I mean, I know there is a lot of talk about Chris versus Ariel Lara. That's not a big money fight. It just isn't. And there's a lot of talk about Conor versus Mario Barrios, which is a big fight because it's a world title fight, but it's not a big money fight. This one is an enormous fight. It's enormous, and it's the biggest pot of gold for both. So I don't know. I feel like it's going to get ironed out, and I feel like Mike Coppinger might be onto something here.
So the report stated 160, 170-pound limit for a same-day weigh-in. And so let's just say they figure it all out in terms of those details. How confident are you that we are getting this fight in April? At this juncture, after everything that's happened, it seems like, based on what everyone is saying, I mean, I saw Eddie and Ben Shalom now doing dual interviews. Like before, it was just Eddie and Frank. Now Eddie and Ben Shalom are singing Kumbaya. We don't quite see the Ben Shalom Frank Warren combo in the interviews for whatever reason. I don't know why that is, but Eddie and Ben seem to be on good terms, both being very complimentary of each other and both saying, like, we're not standing in the way of making this fight happen. It's these two, giant egos who can't seem to agree on anything. But they did say Eubank would be the A side. He would walk out second. It would be Eubank Ben, not Ben Eubank. It seems like all those little ego things have been figured out. Sometimes they hold up the fight. Are you confident it actually happens?
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about sort of where the person's change room is going to be, whose song plays first and second, all that stuff is nonsense. And if that's what's holding up the fight, then the fight will get done. Let's not forget, a couple of weeks ago, it was a case of 55-45 and neither wanted to kind of budge on their 50-50 demands, or Chris wanting a bit more. I think that's now sorted. So if it's just a case of the weight issue, it will get sorted. Again, this is too big. These guys are prize fighters, and this is the biggest prize that both of them can have right now. I mean, Chris Eubank Jr. is 35. This is a big money fight for him.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's a 160 guy getting a 147 guy to come up. There shouldn't be a problem. And Conor's wanted this fight for a long time. So it will happen. It will happen. And again, I think it's going to happen and get pushed because of the backing of Turkey. I do feel like he's had a conversation with both, and I feel like Turkey, and I spoke to Eddie about this, his strike rate right now, I mean, this guy is batting 100. Is that what you guys say?
Betting 1,000.
He's batting 100 right now. 1,000
yes.
right now. Yeah. So I think if he puts something behind it, then it will happen.
All due respect to Mario Barrios, great fighter, great fight back in November, great champion as well. Different stratospheres. Like I know Ben keeps saying I could go for Mario. Like it's different stratospheres. It's not even the same. This is a stadium fight in the
close.
UK.
Not even close. This will do the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is 60,000. Like it will do it. Like tickets would go. Say tickets went on sale tomorrow. Tickets would be sold out by, I don't know, Thursday.
Right.
Like this is how crazy this is. Whereas Barrios, I mean, Conor going to America to fight Barrios. No, and look, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's a world title fight.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying it, but I do think if Conor were to win, and I'm not saying he will, but if he were to win, Barrios is still an option there to go and have that fight.
So if that one's Tottenham, is it fait accompli that AJ Fury is Wembley?
Wembley. The National Stadium.
You guys are lucky, man, over there. You guys are getting 2 stadium shows potentially in 2025. That's absurd.
Potentially, right? Potentially. It is absurd. It is. And it's fantastic for British boxing. It is. It's fantastic. I mean, the sport's gone crazy over here in recent years. It's been crazy over here for a long time, but I feel like it's just exploded. Honestly, it's just gone mad. And I feel like everyone now is starting to get their wish list. Like everyone, like we wrote our wish list down. People realistically now can write anything down. It could happen.
Yeah.
Like anything you thought couldn't happen now could happen. And that's the best place for boxing fans to be. We're so lucky at the moment.
Yeah, and to that point, let's talk about Monday, because Monday we had the press conference for the February 22nd card. I maintain they need to change these press conferences. I maintain that
dude, it was the worst one ever.
Take a page out of the UFC. Do you know one of the most famous UFC press conferences of all time is the one with a similar setup with all the guys up there, and it's Conor McGregor looking up at Jeremy Stevenson saying, "Who the F is that guy?" Right? And that happened because media was asking questions. They're going off script. They're asking certain things. There's fights being kind of picked between different people in different fights, all up there on the dais. What this whole thing about biggest fight of all time?
I messaged you.
Yeah.
I not messaged you about 5 minutes into it. I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Just because, and look, I've done those press conferences and I kind of said, okay, I'm taking a step back from doing them, because if this is how they're still going to be, where you have every manager and promoter up there and everyone wants a word, and it's just like, there must have been about 30 people up there. And look, well done to Dev trying to kind of maneuver through it, because I was like, this is going to take about 2 hours. And then you've got fighters up there that don't really talk, and it's just like, oh, no.
Why don't they let the media ask questions? There's a ton of media there. Let them ask questions.
I have no idea.
They're all stirring the pot, and God bless them. It's part of the gig. You ask questions. They're provocative. You have to try to dig and get stuff. They're doing it in their one-on-ones. Do it up there. Do it up there and the one-on-ones.
They would love to.
You do think I don't understand why they keep doing this, because you have all this talent, all these names, and then some people who are actually connected to each other up there, and there's no buzz, no hype being generated whatsoever, other than the photo of all of them up there. The big talking point, honestly, correct me if you feel otherwise, was the fact that Shakur Stevenson's opponent, Floyd Schofield, a.k.a. Kid Austin, wasn't there. That was the big talking point. There's a big problem when arguably one of the least famous guy isn't there. That's what everyone's talking about after the fact. That's it? Nothing else?
Yeah.
No one's talking about anything else?
As soon as I heard he wasn't there, I was like, because I was actually asked to do a face-off, and obviously that face-off didn't happen. In my head, I was like, this is the face-off.
Right.
Because these guys will go at each other, right? It will be very much Benavidez Morel, if not more. So as soon as Floyd wasn't there, I was like, okay, we're going to lose a lot from this pressing now, because I know Shakur would go for Floyd. I don't know if Floyd would retaliate and go for Shakur. I looked down the lineup of fights, and by the way, this isn't taking anything away from the fighters, because they're fighters first and foremost. But I was like, he ain't going to say anything to him. He ain't going to say anything to him. This is not going to do it. So I'm like, why do you not have it, as you say, where the media members can ask questions? And take it a step further, why do you not have it where fans can come in?
Oh, that
They would then create an atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Like, can we just let the fans in? Like, why are we stopping fans from coming into these press conferences? I don't get it. Let them in. That's what
You're
the UFC do
right.
really well.
Oh my God. I mean, maybe, okay, so I said the most famous of those press conferences with all the other, guys up there, the whole card. What about the one with Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor in Ireland, when the fans were going insane? Remember that? They were going absolutely bonkers.
When he stole his belt?
When he stole the belt. And a lot of that is spurred from the fans. Like, the fans give a lot of energy to the proceedings. And I don't understand. I do not understand why they do this. I had a chance to speak to Shakur Stevenson on my program on Monday, and he was a little bit annoyed by it all. He agreed that it was annoying and it was weird. He did say that he heard it was like a signature issue on his passport. Hopefully this doesn't affect the fight, which is happening in a little over a month. But he laid out his 2025 plans. He said, obviously, Kid Austin on the 22nd of February, then Loma, then Tank. I love that he's thinking big, but I could see the Loma fight not happening, given his relationship or lack thereof with Top Rank, and who knows if Loma's going to keep fighting. And then the Tank one is a weird one that we talked about a few weeks ago, and Tank seems to get very upset at the mere mention of Shakur's name in the same sentence as his. Do you see either of those fights happening for Shakur if, in fact, he gets by Kid Austin, who we both agreed a couple of weeks ago probably has the most pressure on his shoulders other than the big dogs at the top, because he has a lot to prove to a lot of people who have been doubting him now?
Yeah, those fights aren't happening. I mean, Loma looks like he. It's true, though, isn't it? I mean, let me know. Sorry to be Mr. Negative here, but Loma looks like he doesn't want to fight again. He hasn't said anything. I think Loma could be done. I think I saw Bob Arum say something similar a few weeks ago. Gervonta Davis, as you say, every time you mentioned Shakur Stevenson, he gets upset. He visibly gets angry. If I'm Shakur Stevenson, and I kind of looked at Shakur the other day, I was sizing him up just to kind of see the frame of him. If I'm Shakur, I'm looking at the guys at 140. I'm trying to get in that mix now. Teofimo mix, Ryan Garcia mix, Devin Haney mix, because I think those fights can happen. Because I feel like there is no big A side. They're all kind of on the same level in terms of draw, in terms of superstar. So I think he's more likely to get in the mix with those guys than fight a Loma or a Tank or want to stay and fight as a Pader or anyone else. I think go to 140 and see what you can do up there. I know he's not the biggest 135er, but sometimes you just have to roll the dice and take the risk, and I think you might have to do that.
Yeah. Obviously, he has to get by Floyd, and I think he does, but I want to see how he gets by Floyd. Again, he equated it to, look, if you're up 30 in an NBA game, you're not going to let the other team come back, and that's what happens to me. I'm just up by a wide margin in a lot of these fights, so I'm taking my foot off the gas a little bit because I'm not going to allow the guy to come back. I get that to a degree, but ultimately, fans aren't paying for those fights. And I would also push back and say, I don't think it's that wide. I don't think he's skunking the guys. It just doesn't feel like he's putting himself in any type of position to finish the fight. That's what fans want, right? That's what they're drawn to. They're drawn to knockouts. Of course, they love firefights. They love brawls, rock'em sock'em robots. But, Floyd Mayweather would never put himself in those positions as well. And often he was criticized for that being too defensive. But look at what he turned himself into. He was a character. He was a showman. He was a bad boy. He seeked some big fights, and he got the big fights, and people ultimately paid to watch him fight. Right now, I don't know if Shakur is in that category because he's somewhat defiant towards the criticism, and people don't feel like he's putting himself in those positions. If he could get a Tank fight, God bless us all, that would be incredible. If he could get Loma, that would be incredible as well. But I'm just really curious to see how he fights on February 22nd, because I feel like the knock on him right now is that he doesn't take chances, right? And those are our favorite fighters.
A little bit.
Yeah,
he almost cruises because he's so comfortable in those fights. I watch him and I feel like there's more gears. Like I watch him and I feel like, okay, this guy's in second or third gear. There's at least 3 or 4 more gears to go here. Maybe that's on his opponents. Maybe if his opponents really put it on him, we might see the best Shakur Stevenson. I don't know. But I do feel like he needs to understand, and I know he got critiqued a lot in his last couple of fights, but he needs to understand this is an entertainment sport, right? It is. And I think he has the ability to entertain. I do feel like he can almost unlock a character outside the ring as well a bit more. And I think that will then translate into people wanting to invest in seeing his fights. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a superstar, but I do think we need to see him in against the very best to almost see the very best Shakur Stevenson. Shakur versus Devin, I think we'll see the best Shakur Stevenson. Shakur versus Ryan, we'll see the best Shakur Stevenson. I wonder if he can even get up for some of these fights.
Oh, man.
I think that might be the problem. But he's with a killer in Terence Crawford, and Terence turns it on.
Yeah.
So I feel like, get a bit of advice from Terence, and then hopefully we'll start to see a best Shakur Stevenson, because I think we are looking at a future pound for pounder, a future superstar of the sport. We just need a bit more from him.
I would love to see him get tested. I remember when Shane Mosley somewhat rocked Floyd. Remember, it was like
somewhat. He took Floyd's head off.
Yeah, but even Floyd, like it wasn't even like a proper knockdown. I think like his knee touched the mat, if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah.
And we've harped on that moment, or at least we did when Floyd was active, being like, oh my God, Shane had one moment against Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. And if Shakur could find himself in a moment where he needs to maybe, change the game plan or dig deep or defy the odds, whatever it is, I think people would start to endear themselves to him. We love the fighters who dig deep and who, come back from some type of adversity. And speaking of a fighter like that, what about the great Daniel Dubois, who last week we talked about maybe the most improved fighter of 2024, not just in the ring, but out of the ring as well. The way he conducts himself, the way he has improved in his confidence in his interviews, and just like his overall demeanor. He is the man. He has, dare I say, aura, as the kids like to say. He's certainly developing it. And on a night where his sister had a hard-fought battle not too far away from where you guys were at the awards. The Dubois are killing it right now. We have the Fondoras who are killing it. We have the Dubois who are killing it. Some great brother-sister combos in the world of boxing and combat sports. He was out there. I thought he came across as one of the stars at the award show. And I believe on Monday, was it before or after the press conference you had a chance to sit down with Daniel Dubois?
It was before.
It was
just
before
before the press conference. Yeah.
Set it up for us. Set it up for us. What are we about to see here? An exclusive interview, Ade and Daniel.
This is an exclusive interview with now my best friend, Daniel Dubois, who clearly only wants to sit down and speak to me. He said it. He came in the room and said, "Oh my God, it's you, Ade. Fine.
Wow.
Pull up a chair." And I said, "Look, can we bring out the belt? You're going to see the belt in the video as well." I said, "Look, can we bring out the belt? Let's put the belt there." And we had a good conversation just looking at the belt. And he was on fine form. This is me and Daniel Dubois, not just talking about Joseph Parker, but talking about after Joseph Parker as well. Daniel Dubois.
All right.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Gold. What does that mean to you? Was that like a big career goal as a kid, and now you've done it?
Yeah. This is a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, and finally we got there. That's the money for you.
That is the money indeed. Now, though, the problem with this is now you want more.
Yeah.
You want more gold. You want more gold.
Yeah.
2024, when you look back on 2024, how would you sum it up? Because it was an incredible year, man.
Full of, great. Good to come back and prove everyone wrong. That was my year for, doing everything that was expected of me. I finally got a chance to prove I'm the man.
Yeah, and you are the man. There's no, if anyone says you're not, they're lying.
Yeah.
Because what you did, it wasn't just the wins, it's how you beat both people.
Yeah.
Like Filip Hrgović, a bit of a bully, and you bullied him.
Yeah.
And AJ, the puncher.
Yeah.
And you won every round. You took his shot.
Fucking punch it hard. But I took his shot. I took that shot and I come straight back, you know. I kept my composure and showed I got the minerals to do it.
Yeah. What was it like walking out to 90,000 like that? I mean, you've done Poland,
for
Usyk, which was a big one, but AJ, Wembley is a whole different thing.
It was so much better to be in London, you know, around some of my dad's old friends. He brought a small gathering to the house. You know, all the Rusters, all the people.
I saw him in the change room
after. All the Rusters were there, so it was good. You know, everyone was watching, you know, from all the family, everyone. And the music really inspired me. Everything about that event was very, got to me and it pushed me on.
What's the emotion like? You know when AJ's not getting up? Yeah. So you landed that shot, AJ tries to get up, he doesn't get up. What's that feeling like when you know it's done?
I'd love to run it back in my head, you know, over and over, but it's just wow. At the moment, it was, wow, we did it. We've done it, and beating the odds.
And it was really against the odds because they're already planning for AJ to fight Fury or Usyk. That was already done.
I know.
And you've come in and said no.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, sensational.
I threw a punch from the gods, that was.
You threw a few punches from the gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first round you threw a punch from the gods. You seem to land. Do you feel like now, at your age, obviously we've been following you since a kid.
Yeah.
Now, at your age, your size, your maturity, do you feel like this is now the best Daniel Dubois?
I feel like it is. This is, I need to make myself the best Daniel Dubois. Every day I'm in the gym, every day I get a chance to practice. I need to just go full steam ahead because I'm not getting younger. And everyone's getting older. We have to grow up sooner or later. And,
unfortunately.
This is now or never for me.
What do you do then to stop and press pause? Like I know your dad's got you training since you were a kid.
Yeah.
How do you just say, okay, I just want to relax? What does Daniel Dubois do for relaxing?
I'll tell you after I've won this fight. Right now, it's all steam ahead, you know. Right now, it's get through Parker. What's he gonna bring? What's he gonna bring different? You know, I'm confident I can get through him and go through him like a train. You know, there's no stopping me now.
It's weird. Initially, 2023, you're the man chasing the big fights, right?
Yeah.
You're the one. I wanted this fight. Frank, I want that fight. They're all chasing you now. You're now the hunted.
Yeah.
What's it feel like to be the hunted instead of the hunter?
Just be careful for what you wish for, guys. You know, but it's good to be in that position to create and demand that money and make these big fights happen. It's going to bring all different characters to the game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Do you know? I was speaking to someone about this the other day, who's not even a big boxing fan, and they were saying it's now your era.
Yeah.
You know, Fury has recently retired. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
AJ's probably got a year left max.
Yeah.
Chisora's gone. Dillian White's, you know, maybe got another couple of fights.
Yeah.
This is all you now.
It feels like.
Yeah.
I'm coming in when they're going out. I'm coming in, and a few others behind me, but I'm there now.
Can you handle that pressure? Being the man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on to it. I'll ride it till the wheels fall off.
It's like it's got 10 wheels right now because
ride it till the wheels fall off.
You keep on riding.
Keep going.
Parker as an opponent, big name, former champion. Where do you think Parker is in his career?
I think he's been through many battles. I think it's up to me to just show him now that he's not going to come and just take my title like that. You know, I've worked too hard for this, and I'm not going to be the guy that's going to give you your rep of beating me, nah. And I'm dead set on that, and proving him wrong, and you know, stoppage. You know, that's how I feel.
If you were to stop Parker, and look, I mean, your record says that might happen, right? Because recently you've been stopping everyone. Your run of, I think, so many good rounds against Usyk, stopping Miller, stopping Hrgovic, stopping AJ. If you were to stop Parker, that run there is just. I mean, you can't have easy fights, Daniel. You're allowed to pick an easy one. That's an incredible run.
Yeah. I want to be the best, and this is the route that's been given. I mean, remember my amateur coach telling me that you're not gonna have it easy. Yeah. You're not gonna have it easy. So yeah, it's what I expect.
Do you think you're the best heavyweight in the world right now?
Yeah. I'm there now.
Usyk. You, or do you still think Usyk's the number one, or maybe?
I think it's up to me to go in there and take him out. You know, knock him off that spot. You gotta have goals, and that's one of mine.
Not many people run to Alexander Usyk. Yeah. You seem to want it again desperately.
Yeah, I want it. I know I wasn't right last time. You know, things happened, and you know, but it also gave me that strange, because like it was a negative, it was turned into a positive. Yeah. You know, we did some moves behind the scenes, made some changes in camp, and then I just had this bounce back. So Usyk got away lucky last time.
And maybe we do see it again sometime in the summer. What made you get in the ring? I was doing my interview, I thought I was doing a good interview, my voice was going. And all I'm seeing is this big 6'4" guy coming in the ring.
I thought, I've got to make some noise.
And you did? It worked?
I've got to make some noise, I've got to make some noise. This is what boxing's really all about. Who don't like it, you know, as long as they're watching, it don't matter. You know, I just had to make some noise and challenge him, and you know, but my mind is still on Parker, but you know, you want to go for the reach for the stars. Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah, and look, if it were to happen, it's a big fight.
Yeah, and I'd love it to happen in Wembley, back here in England. You know,
incredible, isn't it? I mean, Daniel Dubois, that was not. You've always been in big fights, but nothing like this.
Yeah.
To be a fighter that now fights Wembley Stadium all the time. February 22nd, the greatest card ever. You're the guy.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's range. It's good.
It's amazing. It's amazing. How do you control it though? Because I've been around you now, and everyone's asking for photos and autographs and pictures. How do you handle that type of stuff now? Because that's different.
You know what? I've had that a while, to be honest. The pictures and all of that. That comes with the territory. What now is just getting.
Are people wanting more stuff off you though?
Yeah. The right people. They got to come through my dad, so that's going to be hard.
That's almost impossible.
Isn't it? Yeah. They've got to come through him, so they're not getting to me that easy. So yeah.
If it is 3 fights in 2025, and I say that because you are always busy, right? It seems like you fight a lot. We know one's going to be Parker. Give me your other 2 dream fights to round up the year.
Probably Usyk and what next?
Can I mention one?
Go on.
Potentially?
Go on.
Martin Bakole?
Martin Bakole, yeah, I'd love to get that. I'd love to get that. Shut him up. Him and Nelson. But definitely.
People are talking.
Innit?
Everyone's talking.
Yeah.
And you're fighting.
Yeah.
Honestly, Daniel, I wish you the best.
Yeah.
I think I said you were my fighter of the year. I understand why Alexander Usyk got it.
Yeah.
But I think for you to be underdog in both fights, and stop both guys like that. My guy AJ
can't get rid of me.
Can't get rid of me. Honestly, well done. Good luck, brother.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait a second. We literally did an award show 7 days ago. You didn't say he was your fighter of the year. You said Usyk was your fighter of the year. What is that? What is that?
Remember when me and you were on stage, Wembley Stadium, after you beat AJ, I said fighter of the year.
Oh, you're going back to that?
I watched the interview in the ring I did with him. I said, Daniel Dubois, fighter of the year. I was talking about that. Yeah.
After you guys were recording, did he say, "Wait a second, I saw the Ariel and Ade Awards and you didn't give it to me," or did he miss it?
He didn't say that. He actually patted me on the back and said, "Dude, I love speaking to you." I honestly, though, I could speak to him for 20, 25 minutes. I mean, they try and, they wrap you up like, "Ade, he's got to go." I'm like, "Well, 1 second. He's on a roll. Let us talk more." They're like, he's got to go. But he's like, honestly, he has what you said. He's got aura now. I mean, there is something about him. He says it how it is. Even when I push him on the Piccoli, it's like, yeah, I want to shut him up as well.
Yeah.
Like,
but he says it in such a nice way.
Space. He does. He's just in a great space. I mean, this is a guy now with Fury, I guess, retired, right? This is the guy that is now the second best heavyweight in the world. And it's an incredible journey. And it's a journey of resilience. It's a journey of just fortitude and backs against the wall and fighting through everything. And I love it. I love his story. And long may it continue.
I get a great kick out of him. Just everything about him, his vibe, his demeanor. And I love yeah. You're just throwing. He's like, yeah. And you're trying to get a little bit there. You're trying to get a little more than but there's something wholesome about him.
Yeah, but the means so much because he's not just saying with his mouth. His eyes are lighting up. The smile, he's grinning. Although I did. About 10 minutes or about 20 minutes before that, I did a face-off between him and Joseph Parker. Frank Warren was in the room. Ooh. Andy Lee was in the room as well.
Ooh.
And I'm telling you now, wait till it comes out, Dubois was about 10 seconds away from doing another stand-up with AJ type moment with Parker.
Ooh.
About 10 seconds away. And I had to kind of just shut it down a little bit. Wait till that comes out because that got a bit heated. I love it. The two.
That's probably, of all the fights in the first quarter of 2025, that's the one I'm most looking forward to. There's so much at stake. The Parker story has been unbelievable. The Dubois story has been unbelievable. And there's so much to choose from, as I said at the top of the show. That might be the one that I'm most looking forward to. When you talk about the second half of the year, the second quarter of 2025, the fight that I want to see, the one that I'm most looking forward to, because I'm expecting Fury AJ will take a little bit longer. And that would be Haney Garcia 2 or Garcia Haney 2. And it feels like, because I say second quarter because, of course, Garcia has to, complete his suspension. That's mid-April. And it feels like the big hang-up was probably the lawsuit. Now we're starting to hear rumblings that the lawsuit might be dropped. And they were both at that award show. And then what about Bill Haney just heckling Ryan Garcia outside the hotel? Did you see this clip?
I did.
He's just heckling Ryan Garcia as he's leaving. He's like, yeah, we have a little bit of sound here. Listen to Bill Haney just heckling Ryan Garcia.
I see you, Lupe. Yeah, I know I see him trying to duck around there. Came all out here for nothing, huh? You ducking it, huh? Lupe, you done ducked it, huh? Yeah, you done ducked it.
Yeah, you done ducked it.
Y'all done ducked it. Stay quiet.
All right, so what do we think? Is this going to happen? This has to happen, right? I don't care what they say. This has to happen.
Yeah, it has to, but there was obviously this issue with VADA. They're trying to get Ryan Garcia to enroll, and I think 365-day testing, which I think every boxer should be on. I think Devin Haney says he's signed up to it. He's ready to enroll. He's ready to do what he needs to do. They're waiting for Ryan. So I think that might be the only stumbling block. And rightly so if you're Devin. I mean, look what happened in the first fight. So you do want to, if you want to fight Ryan again, you want to make sure that everything is above board. So I can understand why Devin and his team are pushing Ryan on this one. But it's a big fight. Honestly, it's a huge fight. I mean, the first fight, we were both there, right? It was enormous.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was enormous. The atmosphere, the noise in that first fight was insane. I can't imagine what the noise levels will be wherever this fight takes place in America, second time round. But it's a big fight, important fight for both. Maybe more so for Devin.
Oh, yeah.
If Devin were to lose again, then there's a bit of a problem there. But it's a big...
way more pressure, I think, on Devin's shoulders, despite the whole, PEDs. Did he take it? Did he not? Garcia is viewed as the winner of that fight, I think, in most people's eyes. His stock went supremely up. Haney's went down. Haney has taken a lot of flack because of all the legal stuff and, in some people's eyes, the way he has handled it. He's entitled to handle it the way in which he wants. The fight has to happen. It's the only fight I think that most people, they would say, like, which opponent do you want to see Ryan fight the most? It's Haney, and vice versa, Haney for Garcia. Yeah. I think that's without a doubt. And, credit to Ryan. It was a tumultuous, and that's putting it mildly, 2024 for him. He's been on pretty damn good behavior over the last 3-4 months, right? Like, even there,
great.
I think the Ryan Garcia of April 2024 is walking straight to Bill Haney and getting in his face. Remember Super Bowl weekend when this all popped off between the two of them? They got into it at the the media day, the radio row, as they call it. And so he's showing restraint. Good on him. We saw him with Turkey. He hasn't fought on one of these Riyadh season cards, and to see him there leads one to think that Turkey would want to make this fight happen. And so I'm optimistic. I'm actually, in a weird way, more optimistic that this happens than Tyson AJ. I feel like Tyson AJ is just like the cat that will always get away. This one, I think they both recognize they need each other, and it's the fight to make for both of them.
Yeah. It's the fight that, look, I mean, they both are superstars. They both make money fighting other opponents, but this is a big one. This has now history. There's a backstory there. I think Ryan, look, if there was no issue with PD after the Devin Haney win, Ryan was on this sort of spaceship to superstardom. He still is a superstar, but I mean, after that win, considering how he kind of fooled all of us, and obviously that kind of paused for a little while. So look, Ryan needs a comeback story as well, and who better to come back with than against Devin Haney. I like what Bill's doing. I think what Bill is doing in terms of selling the fight and making sure Ryan signs, because they know just how big a money fight this is. I think Bill's playing it perfectly well. I think everyone's playing their role, and I think this one will get over the line as well. I expect this fight to happen sometime April, May. You've missed a fight, though. I mean, in terms of fights, expected fights and fights you want to see, I mean, the number one fight is still Canelo Crawford. That fight has to happen in the first quarter. I believe, I mean, Canelo fights in May. We know this, right? May, September. If he's going to fight in May again and keep this record up, it has to be Terence Crawford. It can't be anyone else. It can't be. I think it will be Terence Crawford.
Can I be honest with you? Of all the prospective fights that we've talked about on this show, and I feel like today's show has been kind of like a heat check. Okay, like, how do you feel about this one? How do you feel about that one? The one that I feel the least confident in happening is that one.
Come on, Ariel. Come on. Have you not been following Crawford's Twitter timeline for the last 24 hours? I mean, did you not see the photo of him in Turkey?
Yeah.
Canelo obviously sat down and spoke to Turkey as well. I mean, I'm more confident about Crawford Canelo than I am AJ Fury. I said AJ Fury is going to happen.
What makes you so confident? This?
Yeah.
The photo.
That's all I needed. Yeah,
that's it.
No. It wasn't necessarily that. It was Canelo coming to the Ring Awards that just heightened my confidence. I was like, oh, 1 second. If Canelo's coming here, Canelo's in that discussion with Turkey. And I said to you a bit earlier, and you corrected me. I said Turkey's batting 100. You said he's batting
1,000.
There you go. Get up, Ariel. Hurry up, Ariel.
Sorry. I was trying to understand where you were going. I understand.
I think he's at the conversation. I'm seeing cryptic messages from Terence Crawford's Twitter page. I think we're on. I
don't feel that's. I feel like there is an ocean between them. I feel like there's an ocean. I think it's going to be.
Who does Canelo fight then in May?
I mean, it's a fantastic question. Here's the thing. Last week, the New York Times reported that TKO and Turkey are going to put on this new boxing promotion, right? And so what we don't quite know just yet, and TKO, by the way, is the parent company of the UFC and WWE, long believed that this will be their entry into the world of boxing, that they called it TKO because there's going to be a boxing pillar in this like 3-headed monster that they built. And they have boxing people involved. Dana White long has wanted to get into the world of boxing. Nick Khan, who's the president of WWE, has long been involved in the world of boxing, representing the likes of Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach, among others. And so I believe that they will get into the world of boxing, and I feel as though Terence Crawford is going to be involved in this promotion. And I just think that off the jump, it's going to be it's going to be a big, a big pie to bite on to try to make that fight off the jump for them. I don't know. Turkey has already said that the ring is going to be a separate entity from Riyadh season. And it's unclear whether this will be a separate entity from Riyadh and the ring. All of this is still up in the air. But I don't know. It feels like the weight, the economics are too great to make this one happen. Not saying I don't want to see it. I just don't get that same sort of feeling. I don't have that positivity, that optimism.
I just feel if Terence Crawford's going to have a fight again, and I look at the options on the table, there's no one he wants to fight 154 pounds. There isn't. He doesn't want to fight Fundora. He's not going to fight Virgil Ortiz. He's not going to fight Boychuk. These aren't sexy names. These are just not names that even gets out for a jog for. The only name he wants to fight is Canelo. So for me, I feel like I'm more closer to Crawford fighting than Crawford not fighting. And if Crawford's going to fight, then it has to be Canelo. But look, we'll see. That's a dream one for me. I think I said that on my wish list for 2025. I said Crawford, Canelo. I think all the others will come true. I just want this one to come true. It's a crazy fight. There's almost too much weight between the two, but I agree. Hey, this is boxing.
This is boxing. Crazy things are happening. You've got Tank Davis tweeting a storm about the awards. What was up with that, by the way? Why is he so mad? What's he so upset about?
Was he not invited? I don't know. I don't know if it's a case of him not being invited. I mean, he was the one missing, right? In terms of someone that would have made a big splash.
And Fury.
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, but I think Tank being there is even bigger than Fury, if I'm honest with you. I think because, again, Fury's been at all these Saudi events. We see Fury all the time at these events. Tank has been just missing from it. And he is the big star, isn't he? He's the big star for PBC. He's the big star in American boxing. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Tank. He's taking shots at everyone. But the Crawford one is just weird. I'm not entirely sure. Just focus on Lamont Roach.
He just seems so angry. And perhaps it's his feelings towards the sport. He's already said that this will be his final year. You have the kid coming up to him saying, I want to be a boxer. He says, go to soccer instead, focus on that. It just seems like there's anger towards the sport, and who knows what has truly happened behind the scenes. He's made a hell of a lot of money off the sport of boxing, right? He's one of the faces, certainly, of American boxing. He's a big pay-per-view star. We wish that he would fight more often, but the guy is set for life. His kids, his grandkids are set for life. So I don't know why he has so much animosity towards the sport. And certainly I don't know why he has so much animosity towards Turkey or towards what they're doing over there or towards the ring or the awards. I don't know, but it's just like, golly, this is a lot of anger coming out of Tank.
It is. Again, with regards to anger towards the sport, I mean, I sit down, as you do, with so many boxers away from the cameras, and they always talk about the goings on, if you like, behind the scenes in boxing. So look, who knows if he's angry because of how his situation with Floyd Mayweather turned out? Who knows if he's angry because of a current situation with him and Leonard Ellaby? I don't know, because he wasn't at his last press conference. I don't know. But I want to see Tank stay in the sport of boxing for as long as possible, because that guy is a superstar. And I love the fact that he's no nonsense. Not everyone can be all smiles and bells and whistles. I like the fact that he is mean. He is angry.
Yeah.
He's growling all the time. It's nice. It's refreshing. But what I like even more is that there are so many dance partners out there for him. So many. And I just want to see him stay around long enough so we can get these superstar fights.
There are a ton, I would say, on most people's wish list for Tank Davis. Lamont Roach probably isn't at the top of the list, but that's the one we're getting on.
I didn't think Lamont Roach was on the list.
Yeah, or maybe even on the list.
If I'm honest with you, if I'm bringing it, honestly, and this is not me having a dig at Lamont, because I think Lamont's a good fighter in the weight class below. But I think if you asked people prior to the Lamont Roach fight being announced, pick your top 10 Tank fights.
Yeah,
I don't know if Lamont Roach would have been on that list. That's not saying it's not going to be a good fight, but I'm just saying I don't think he would have been on the list.
Well, speaking of lists, we had the great Moses Itama on the show last week, and you've been sort of an unabashed AJ guy for the past decade. I'm a Moses guy, so I'm planting my flag in Moses territory. He's my guy, And I think after our conversation, I'm his guy as well. So you could all get out of the way. He told me he's sick of the UK media. He liked my vibes, and of course, he remembered the moment that we shared in Paris a few months back when I pushed LeBron aside and I pushed KD aside and Simone Biles aside and all the big stars. I was like, oh wow, there's the face of boxing, the future king of the heavyweights. He's about to break Mike Tyson's record in May. So I mean, we vibed. We connected, we vibed, and he gave me his wish list, speaking of lists, of his next victim, and he boiled it down to 4, and he called them, by the way, his next victim. He boiled it down to 4. I want to ask you who you're picking of this bunch, okay? And they're all relatively known names in the heavyweight division. Otto Wallin, interesting. Filip Hrgović, interesting. Kubrat Pulev is the one that his manager Francis Warren wants him to fight, but he's like, let him retire. He did say if he wants to get it, he could get it. Or Justice Hooney, who had a win on the Jaya Pataya card. Who are you picking?
Hrgović.
Yeah, that's the second.
I think Hrgović is that's crazy.
Yes.
That's risky.
This dude was fighting in June at a chance to fight AJ Hrgović, and now Moses is going to take him out.
Yeah, let's not forget Hrgović walked into that fight with Dubois as a big favorite. And he's landing on Dubois as well. Dubois is just taking them. Hrgović is a really good fighter. I mean, I don't think that the Dubois fight would have taken something out of him, but he's not fought since, so he's rested. He's ready to go again. He'll be hungry. I don't think Hrgović will take the fight because you'd probably say, why am I fighting Moses Itama? But that's a really good matchup. And Otto Wallin's an interesting one, but obviously Otto Wallin's got Derek Chisora. If Otto Wallin gets past Chisora, then I like that matchup as well. But it's interesting. I don't like the Kubrat Pulev one.
Yeah.
I know he beat Manuel Char a few weeks back, but I don't like that. He must be about 40, if not a bit older. So I don't like that one. And Justice Hooney, no, not for me. Not yet. 2 young fighters coming up. I'd rather see them both mature a bit than fight each other.
I love the big jump to Hrgović. If that's on the table,
crazy. Sign
me up. I would absolutely love to see that. I can't wait to see the Darren Till Anthony Taylor fight this Saturday night.
Wow, yeah.
On DAZN.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon here in America. Saturday in Manchester. Saturday night. Our boy Wade Plemons making his pro debut. It is considered a pro fight, right?
Is it?
I don't know. I'm asking you. You're the Misfits guy.
I was the Misfits guy.
Sorry.
I don't know if it is. I mean, if it is, good luck to Wade. I mean, look, Wade, I've been watching Wade. He's been releasing little snippets, just teasing us. Can you just release a full spar and stuff? Like, come on, Wade. You're not.
Nah, I like this. I like this. Tease us so we watch.
Hitting the bag. I would always watch Wade. So, it's going to be interesting. I'm so psyched, though, for the Darren Till Anthony Taylor fight. Because you know what it is? Darren's put him down a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you're nothing. You're rubbish. And Anthony is going to come and he's going to try and take Darren Till's head off.
I can't wait.
I don't think he will, but he's going to try his hardest to do so. And I like that Anthony's finally got a big fight as well. He's been the guy that's been calling out the big guys, and he's never really got the opportunity. I know he fought Tommy a while back, but he's never got the opportunity. Now he gets one. So let's see what he can do.
He has completely reinvented himself as a influencer boxing, crossover boxing star. I mean, he was a mid-tier sort of journeyman MMA fighter who was, not really talked about all that much, if we're being 100% fair. And now here he is fighting in the main event against a guy who fought for a UFC title, who was once the face of UK MMA, certainly for the UFC, Darren Till. And there's a lot of intrigue as to, how Darren will do in boxing. He had that one fight that turned into a brawl in the second round. We didn't really get much out of it. I'm still a little bit bummed that it's not Tommy Fury, if I'm being 1,000% honest with you. But
everyone is.
They've done a nice job of building this and making chicken salad out of chicken, expletives. So I am looking forward to it, and I'm wishing the best to our boy Wade Plemons, who's competing also on this card this Saturday, Misfits X Series 20. Now, there's a slew of big fights coming up on the DAZN schedule. We've got a ton. We're going to Nottingham on January the 25th. Will you be there in Nottingham?
Of course I'll be there.
Yes.
Of course I'll be there. I don't want to go there because obviously Nottingham are a problem for me right now. But we'll go there. Dalton Smith, my boy, a future world champion at 140 pounds. You've got to watch Dalton Smith. It's a big one. And then stateside, a few hours later, Diego Pacheco, who I think is a future 168-pound champion. So a couple of future champions on the schedule. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
I should go to the Pacheco fight. You should be at the Smith fight, and then we do a link up, and you toss it over to me. Let's go across the pond where Ariel Helwani.
I will do that, but you won't go.
I haven't been asked. Actually, I might be at BKFC that same night. Eddie Alvarez versus Jeremy Stevens, also on DAZN. There it is, Knucklemania 5. Yeah.
I mean, I tell you, the DAZN subscription gets you a lot.
A lot.
I mean, gets you a lot. Get your Misfits this weekend, and next weekend you get all that.
Look at us,
DAZN. Wow.
Shilling for our bosses. We love it. Also, yes, there it is. Clarissa Shields on February the 2nd against Danielle Perkins. Have you seen the movie yet?
I haven't seen the movie.
Ah, come on.
Have you? Have you seen it?
I didn't hear. What was the question?
You haven't seen it either. You haven't seen it.
I've heard great things. I've heard great things.
This girl she's fighting is big.
Yeah.
He's big. I saw the little stare down. I was like, okay, she's a big girl. I love Clarissa, and I just wish that, I don't know, man. I just wish there were more sort of named opponents at 160, 168, because she deserves to be in, and this is no disrespect to her opponent, but she deserves to be in fights that everyone is talking about, but there's just no one for her to fight.
No one.
I mean, I can't believe they've not made the Savannah Marshall rematch. Like, are they crazy? Like, what are they doing? Make that fight.
Why haven't they made it? Make it in MMA, for goodness sakes, if they're not going to do it in boxing. I'd love to see that.
Just do it. Yeah, because it'll be a stand-up.
Yeah.
They're not going to go, no one's taking no one down. So, yeah, and Clarissa needs her as well, because they had a bit of beef. It was fantastic. It needs to happen over here where there's a lot more interest in it. But yeah, I wish Clarissa good luck. She probably will win, because that's what she always does. And then they'll see what Dimitri Salita can get her.
You know, at before the show today, I was having a legit argument with the production staff, our great team here at Uncrowned Studios, because I said, all right, what are we going to do for our parting shot? Parting shot is everyone's favorite segment of the week. Everyone loves the parting shot, right? I mean, it's an institution. They were laughing at me saying, institution? What are you talking about? I'm like, we're on the verge of selling this thing. It's going to be sponsored parting shot. Everyone talks about what our parting shot is going to be. And they were laughing at me. And so I said, to hell with you guys. I'm picking the parting shot. And the parting shot is from 6 days ago, all the way down under in the beautiful Gold Coast of Australia, when our guy, the cruiserweight king himself, Jaya Pataya, absolutely obliterated his. I was talking slowly there to hopefully get us to the clip. What a performance from Jaya Pataya, right? Against David Nikia.
It was incredible. Yeah, David Nikia. But, I will say this, credit to David Nikia as well, because I can't even remember the name of Jaya Pataya's original opponent. Can't remember the name. There was no interest in it. It was flat. Like, oh, Jaya, just get through this and let's move on. All of a sudden, David Nikia steps up and it becomes something enormous down under. Enormous. And that's because of David Nikia. So credit to him for stepping up.
Why do you keep saying his name? Is it because I said his name originally, I screwed it up? You keep saying Nikia, Nikia. You keep emphasizing it. I feel like you're trying to stick it to me there. Nikia. I've heard multiple different pronunciations, if I'm being honest.
Listen to me.
So I'm not buying this.
Helwani, right? Nikia.
Nikia. It's N-Y. It's a tough one. Nikia.
Yeah, N-Y-I-K-A. David Nikia.
Nikia.
Yeah. So look, he'll come again. But Opataya now, it's all systems go for Zurdo Ramirez.
Yeah.
Has to be. Yeah, it has to be. What else? What else are we doing?
Well,
And then a heavyweight jump, maybe.
Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. I do want to say someone who did not botch David Nikia's name was our pal, the young gun, Charlie Parsons, who got to be presenter on that broadcast. Him and Sky Nicholson did a great job. Well done to them. Charlie representing very well. He was playing Ariel Oladipo up there. He was doing your gig.
One second. Pause. There's only one Ariel Oladipo. The kid did well.
I like how you take the bass down. Yeah, there's
no. The kid did well. He did okay, and I even sent him a message. I tweeted something about it as well. He did very well, and I think Charlie's rise has been sensational in the last couple of years. But there's only one Ariel Oladipo.
By the way, are your neighbors sleeping? I feel like you're getting a little like there. It's provocative. Your tone gets like when you go down like that. It's a little.
No. It's just because sensual? Over here it's 11:30.
Okay. Well, are there people sleeping next door?
No. I can go loud if you want me to go loud.
Jaya Pataya, Alexander Usyk, Eddie mentioned it in the ring afterwards. Then we saw them together at the awards. They were there too. What do you think? Seeing them side by side, obviously Usyk a little bigger these days, former cruiserweight. I'd love to see it. I don't know if he sticks around long enough. Like, what's the point, right? But golly, would I love to see it.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Usyk's, what does he come in? 222 pounds? So he's not like a monster of the heavyweight division. Whereas Jai, obviously, as a cruiserweight, is 200 pounds. So there isn't that much difference. I mean, it's still a lot, but there isn't that much difference. So I just don't think there's enough time. Like if Usyk was 35, maybe, but Usyk now, 38? I think 38 in a couple of days. It's just not enough time. I don't think Usyk will think of it as a super fight. It only becomes a super fight if Jai becomes undisputed, then quickly jumps up. And then it's a case of, okay, the undisputed cruiserweight champs jumping up. But for now, I just don't think there's not enough juice in it. There's more intrigue in Usyk versus Dubois and Usyk versus Bukoli or whatever.
I'll tell you what, though, Usyk or not, if Jai beats Zerto, I don't hate the idea of seeing him move up because there's obviously bigger fights for him up at heavyweight, even if it's not against the likes of Alexander Usyk, who at this point hasn't much left to prove against anyone. Maybe 2 fights left, 3 fights left, and I don't know if he takes that fight. But look, the guy's been game. He's been game his whole career, fighting all comers. Why not? I would love to see it. And so before we go, can we officially confirm you will, in fact, be in Wade's corner on Saturday? Are you holding the spit bucket? Is this happening? I need to know this.
It's still question mark.
Come on, what is it? A commission issue? What's going on?
Confirm or deny.
Who do we have to call? Robert Smith of the BBBOC?
I can't confirm or deny, Ariel.
I'd love to see it. I want to see you in there with like the classic Emmanuel Stewart.
The people
like,
want it.
The button down with the big, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
I'd wear that. I'd wear my old cap.
It'd be great.
But I can't confirm or deny.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, there's a tease. Tune into DAZN on Saturday afternoon here in America, overseas in prime time. A slew of great events and fights coming along with your DAZN subscription. No pay-per-view for this one. No pay-per-view, Ade. I have so much fun doing this show with you. But alas, time has expired. Just like time expired on Liverpool earlier today at the City Ground as it fell to 97 minutes. Yes. What?
One second.
Yeah?
It's a good point away from home.
Nah, that's a loss. That's a loss, for being honest.
Okay, cool.
It's a loss, for being honest. It's a loss.
Okay.
Listen, I like the way you spin it, but it's a loss. Another point for the good guys. Ade, love you, buddy. Talk to you this time next week. See you all in 7 days. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.